Hi, my name is Jesselyn-Anne Suan and my matric number is 145536. I'm from LSP 401 General English Group 5. Throughout my 23 years of life, I've witnessed uncountable injustices and am unsatisfied as well as disappointed by them. Therefore, I'd like to share my individual oral presentation entitled "It Has Never Been the Same for Everyone When It Comes to Justice." If you judge a fish by its ability to climb up a tree, it will live its entire life thinking it's incompetent. You've heard this before, haven't you? Imagine asking a fish and a monkey to climb up a tree. Since they have to compete for the exact same thing, it's justice, is it not? There are multiple reasons why justice has never been the same for everyone, such as having different perceptions, wealth, and ranks, as well as connections. One of the reasons why justice varies for everyone is due to different perceptions. The term justice itself is perceived differently by different people. Let's refer to the example given earlier. Some may think that justice is making the fish and the monkey do the exact same task, whereas some may think that justice would be asking them to do what they can do. This happens because people practice equality over equity. Equality would be giving everyone the exact same thing, whereas equity would be giving each person what they actually need. From time to time, we receive some money from the government as a form of help, like when the COVID-19 pandemic hit us badly and many lost their jobs. So we were given some money to lighten our burdens. If 50 ringgit is given to everyone, would that be fair and just? A man who just lost his job and is barely coping will be able to buy perhaps a packet of milk and maybe a few loaves of bread, whereas a man whose job is not affected and is financially stable will just be receiving some extra money. So ladies and gentlemen, you probably get the picture now. What if the first man were to receive more and support his family better, whereas the second man were to not receive the money which he doesn't need? This would be what we call equity, where both parties do not receive the exact same thing, but instead what they actually need. Let me share another example to enlighten you on the difference between equality and equity. Take a look at these pictures. I'm sure you can understand. People tend to perceive justice differently, where some think that equality is justice, whereas others think that equity is justice. And this is one of the reasons why justice differs for everyone. We all think we know what justice is, when we might not. Other than perceptions, the fact that money can buy one's way in or out of something also leads to justice being different for everyone. Wealthy people have the advantage of benefiting from the money that they own. They can use their money to get almost anything they want, which differentiates them from less wealthy people. Take for example, the current trending case with the hashtag Justice for Bella. A girl with a disability was severely abused. However, as she has no one and no money to fight back, she might lose the case. On the other hand, the defendant is wealthy enough to hire 10 lawyers. 10 lawyers against one disabled girl. Well, you get the picture. Other than that, when one has money, they can afford bribery, which is a shortcut that some may take in order to achieve what they want, against the laws of justice. Bribery can get you something you want, or get you out of a situation you don't want to be in. Rich people may take advantage of how those who are less fortunate need money and lure them into agreeing with the bribery. For example, a rich person may bribe a policeman to get out of summons, that is, if the policeman needs or wants the money very much. Allow me to move on to my third point. Ladies and gentlemen, it is no secret that ranks and connections are also benefited to achieve desires. I believe most of us are aware of this fact. Sadly, these have been practiced for as long as I can remember. I, and as I've heard many others, grew up in these situations. Supposedly, the higher your rank is, the more humble you should be. The more you should follow rules and regulations and be a good example for your followers. In this case, justice is not served because many people misuse their ranks. Normal citizens can be fined for the slightest thing, But it isn't the same for people with ranks and titles, is it? How often do you see people with high ranks in a country, to be specific, our country, be fined? Although their offenses are very obvious and severe, people choose to, or have to, close their eyes and let these slide or give minimal punishment. Connections, too, are benefited to achieve something. We call this pulling strings. Connections generally mean that we have someone who can help us achieve what we want through several ways, such as putting in a good word for us or directly getting us a job or a specific post. This way, you can have the upper hand in achieving something over others who actually deserve it. In my primary school, students who were children of teachers, including myself, were prioritized for the prefect selections, while other students had to compete with each other. While I was striving to get into a university, a peer I know whose performance was average, as said by our teacher, got into a prestigious university with the help of that teacher. I'm disheartened to say, but to survive in some countries or societies, one would need these privileges. So, ladies and gentlemen, I agree profoundly that justice has never been the same for everyone due to perceptions, wealth, ranks, and connections. In my opinion, justice should serve its actual purpose, where everyone is judged fairly based on logic without having any strings pulled. If you're right, you're right. And if you're wrong, regardless of any privileges. Thank you.